Hello, we are Group 5, and this is the list of our group members. And today our topic is free will and responsibility in paradigm lost and in modern society. Okay. And this is our outline. And our presentation will be divided into 5 parts. First is introduction, and then we will discuss free will and responsibility in these 3 aspects. And finally is our conclusion. And on 37, my part is introduction. Okay, so after reading the Paradigm Lost, this book, we can find that free will is a crucial issue that appeared in this book. And in Taiwanese society, free will is available and also be the universal perception to us. However, in John Milton's society, free will was not fully carried out and had a certain limitation. So now I would like to introduce the free will in the time background of John Milton. So you can find that free will is the reason why free will is an important concept in Paradigm Lost is that the author reflects his thinking and belief of free will in this book. And John Milton thought that free will is an essential right to humans. So he also proposed 3 claims to free will, and I will talk about them respectively. First is politics, and John Milton's political ideas were mainly shaped by his belief of individual freedom and also be affected by the time background. And in 1653, the Republic collapsed, and after 7 years, the event of the Restoration happened. So, because of this factor, John Milton was the proponent of Republican government, and you can find his political ideas in his work. And next is religion. So, John Milton also expressed the idea of religious freedom in his famous work, Areopagitica. Yes, and in this book, John Milton argued against the licensing order in 1643. Licensing order is that it requires the author to obtain the license from the government before publishing their work, and also their work have to be checked by committee consisting of 20 clergy. So John Milton thought that licensing order was not only violated the freedom of speech and also the freedom of religion. So he argued that everyone has their right to worship their God, and also the government has no authority to dictate what the individual could read or believe. And the last one is marriage. So John Milton had 3 marriages, and his first marriage motivated him to publish this work, The Doctrine and Discipline of Divorce. And in this book, he expressed his idea of divorce. And he also attacked the regulation of that divorce was illegal in most cases in England at that time. He advocated that if the couple cannot get along with each other, they have right to divorce. Yes. And this is the end of my part. So all in all, we know that John Milton pursued the free will as a basic human right, and if people have free will and they they may also have to take responsibility for it. So our remaining presentation will continue to talk about free will and responsibility. Hello, I'm and I will continue to talk about character analysis of legal system paradigm law. And there are two characters, one is the God and another is man. Firstly, God is all thinking and all knowing and represents the law. And the free will is something that the God endowing all creatures with, endowing to all of you. And that's if you disobey him, you will get the punishment. So, is this concept of free will is really free? We think that it is not completely because humankind is free to make a choice but cannot decide their fate, which is all depends on the God. And the God's responsibility is functioning as the fair and just authority to maintain the order of the world. And that it is unknowable to the humankind because it is state of emotion, and so the reader will ask, is it really fair? And because the God is he has the he is completely rational judge, so he will expect him to reach the extreme degree of fairness, and so the reader cannot sympathize with. And another character is Satan. He represents the rebellion against oppressive authority, and his free will is same as the humankind, but he chooses evil instead of redemption. And the reader may ask why Satan is sympathized by the reader because his behavior is all driven by jealous and pride, which is human's fault. And some of the reader may even consider Satan as the hero. And Satan's responsibility of disobedience is punished by the God. But it is mercy to against the God which is represent the law, despite the consequences that Satan gets. Because Satan admits that it is brutal to against the God because he will get the punishment anyway, but he believes in himself. It points out that under the authority, disobedience seems like true freedom, but will cause peril. And next, Jenny will continue to talk about legal system in Canada.
Hi, I'm Jenny in chapter number 48. Based on what the former presenter has mentioned, that we know free will and responsibilities are two important elements in the story paradigm laws. So in this section, I'm going to talk about how these two aspects in charge in our modern times. So first is free will. So people use their free will to make decisions under the law systems. So for example, voting. In Taiwan, we got the free will to vote, like voting for our president or voting for our city makers. So this is the free will that we can use in our modern times. And the other aspect is responsibilities. That is, legal systems can let individuals hold accountabilities for their actions. So for example, drunk driving. So in Taiwan, we got the law that prohibits drunk driving. So once you choose to follow the rule, and when you are got drunk, you decided to take the taxi rather than driving by yourself. You take the responsibilities of yourself because you didn't hurt others. But on the other hand, if you are drunk and you still choose to drive by yourself, then you should take the responsibilities of obeying of violate the law and hurt others and compensate for the loss. So you still need to take the responsibilities of what you do. So this is the first part of the aspect. So then Tony will talk to us more about the second part.
Alright, everyone. My name is Tony, and I'm 26 years old. And I'm going to talk about the interpersonal relationship in John Milton's third law. So the first part is about the text analysis of interpersonal relationship. So the first one we're going to discuss is the sentence. In the paradox law, sentence shifts is a attachment from family God to his free will, and because he wanna find the evil means out of good. And we can see the text here among the nations from, and the third is by John Law, suffering out of Zion, from within his sanctuary itself there finds abominations, and with cursing his holy rites, and solemn feasts profane, and with their darkness there is found his light. In book 1, line 305 to 39. And we can see cursing his holy rites and the solemn feasts profane, the darkness thirst from his light. It all literally shows his will to stand out of the dark because he wants to find his free will to pursue the evil things. So we say Satan still finds different interpersonal relationships outside of his family and tries to be the leader himself. So and he creates the hell out of the heaven. And the second one is Adam here. Adam shifts his interpersonal relationship from God to Eve. And in order to stay together with Eve, even though the things will come. So we can see in the text in the book 9, line 997 to 999. He scrupled not to eat against his better knowledge, not deceive, but promptly overcome female charm. The female charm here is Eve's charm. So even though Adam got the free will to choose whether to eat the forbidden fruit, he did it still because in order to stay with Eve. And the next one will by my group member to discuss the character analysis.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Chen Timothy. So I'm gonna make some analysis on Adam and Eve. So let's welcome this pair of couple. So for Adam, for the role of man, he symbolizes freedom and justice. So in Hamilton's literature, Adam chose to listen to Eve. Well, actually, Adam sacrificed himself broke God's rule. Actually, Adam could choose either Eve or God. However, Adam loved Eve higher than God. If Adam didn't accept Eve's fruit, Adam will be left alone in Eden and will not be cast out together with Eve from Eden. So whether it is the right choice depends on everyone's opinion. In our life, we may confront some dilemma. Yeah, Max. Indeed, Adam had to face some responsibility or consequences after making the hard decision. So Adam will be required to work on labor work. As the saying goes, no pets, no gas. But they were still in Eden, in a garden. They could get anything without any pen or labor work. However, after the punishment, Adam had to work and get. Well, as I mentioned, is it the right selection? So maybe it depends on everyone, and it is more controversial, I think. So here I would like to work on this character. So it represents innocence and naivety. Naivety sounds like a negative word, like similar to childishness. So in Paradise Lost and Old Testament, Eve preferred to accept a serpent's advice. The serpent was possessed by Satan and the demon. And the reason why Eve fell into snare was due to the serpent's word and some attractive words. Well, Eve had to face some consequences, and Eve also caused Adam to sacrifice himself. After doing that, Eve had to be cast out with Adam, but they could reproduce their descendants. You can see in the Old Testament after being cast out. So from interpersonal relationship, you may be tempted or deceived by your friends, and also make troubles to others. So don't be regretful after making decisions. So let's go on to your next.
Okay, thanks for my group member chapter analysis. Now we move to the interpersonal relationship free will in modern society. So, like in our human nature, when we face the tragedy state, we have choice, either fight or flight. Fight here means that we try to overcome and confront the challenge directly, and flight means we try to get away from this. But we notice that no matter what we choose, we not only take the free will in it, but also take the responsibility of it. Because the freedom here means the responsibility of every act. When you choose, then you take both of the cause and cons. And so the free will here not only means the responsibility of every act, but it also helps you to define your responsibility and who you are. So this is very important for Satan to try to deceive and get out of from heaven, but also for the Adam to eat the forbidden fruit. Because when he tried to eat the fruit, then he just forbid his personality in heaven and driven from heaven to the earth. Thank you. And now we're going to move to the next point.
Hello everyone, I'm 52 and I will introduce a part of personal autonomy and growth in both Paradise Lost and in modern society. The first example in Paradise Lost is from Book 1, line 620 to 21. It says, tears such as angels speak first word and last words, into all precise found out their way. This line conveys a sense of profound sadness and loss of the angels, and the angels realize that the gravity of their action and the consequence of being cast out. And we can see that the rebellion against God shows their selfish desire, and this also shows that they are lack of their personal autonomy. They only just to follow the desire, but rather than pursuing higher purpose. And so they was cast out. So after being cast out, they feel regret, they feel sad, and the tears also symbolize the personal growth that they know the mistakes. And also the line there in the woven words and the signs also symbolize their personal growth that they know the mistakes they made. And the second example is from
141 to 42. The first is, they are all about Eve, and the first is Eve say that, let us divide our labors, now we're choice. And second quote said, so saying, her rash hand in evil hour, forth reaching to the fruit, she plucked, she ate. Okay, this two quotes shows the personal autonomy that she decided whether or not to work separately from Adam, and she used her free will to decide to work separately. So after leaving Adam, she was tempted by Satan, and it is also her personal autonomy to choose to decide to choose to eat the forbidden fruit. So after eating the forbidden fruit, she knows that she has the consequence of loss of paradise and the coming death, and she should be responsible for her action, and she should take the responsibility for all the consequences. And in the example in modern society is that an important issue is whether or not to enter a university. So it is senior high school students' person the free will to make a decision whether or not to enter it, and they can decide based on their interests or the pros and cons and the skills they will learn in the school or not in the school. And after they choose, if they choose to enter a university, they should be responsible for their study in the university. But if not, they should be responsible or they should face their parents' disappointment and also the social prejudice. So whichever choose they decide to go, they should be responsible for all the decisions. And next, Tammy will conclude our presentation.
So, in conclusion, we have analyzed free will and responsibility in legal system, interpersonal relationships, and personal autonomy and growth. And we can find that no matter in paradise law and modern society, we both find the evidence to show that they are still relevant. And just like what the presenter have said before, people may have to take responsibility and the negative consequences for when they act according to their free will. So people may wonder that now if free will can lead to negative consequences, so why people should have it? And here are our opinions. First one, free will is a basis of individual freedom to allow people to make our own autonomous choice. Yes. And the second one, free will is also a process of growth that people can learn from the consequences. And the third one is that free will is also inspire people to pursue the dream. If people insist their dream, they can achieve the accomplishment with free will. And the last one is for human advancement. Take economic development, for example. A free market economy allows businessmen and consumers freely trade and choose. And this kind of free will encourage them to competition and also drive to the development of economy. Yes. So this is the end of our presentation. And here is the question. So which parenting style would you prefer and why? the first choice is that if you were parents, you will give your children a complete free will to do anything, but they may get hurt from their mistakes. And the second choice is you will give them a limited free will to prevent their children getting hurt or making big mistakes. So I'll give you 10 seconds to think about it, and I will choose one of you to answer. Okay, time's up, and I'll randomly select one of you. So 39. Okay. 39.
I think I would still choose the second options because as a Taiwanese who have been grown up and read from a family that is give us a limited free will. So if I choose the first options, maybe some others may think weird and kill this parent. That's all.
Okay, good. This is our references. And thank you